What's going on, everyone? Welcome to G-Ball Vision. Today we have a new knife here to check out, and this is coming in from Kizer. While we're getting into this thing, let us know down in the comments what your EDC is for today. So this is a new release for Kizer in March of 2025. This is called the Kizer Crest, and this is more, I would say, in their mid-tier price range. We're looking at around 150 bucks. There are a couple of different variations, at least two that I have seen or that I did see, and this is going to be the all murdered out one, with the exception of the little Kizer there on the front and a little bit of writing here on the back. So this will be completely blacked out. We are looking at a sheep's foot blade, kind of a harpoon sheep's foot. I like that. And we are looking at S35VN. We have a polished PVD coating that Kizer does really well. This enlarged sharpening choil there. Not going to call that a finger choil, but you could use that for, like a pointer finger tip, that type of deal there. Use it to kind of cheat up and get up on that tip with your pointer finger a little bit. But so it'd come in handy for certain things. You're not losing a ton of edge with it, but it gives you a little bit of added ability, in my opinion, because if you really need to be careful or concentrate with something, kind of helps to have that pointer finger, being able to be there and kind of get that up and down push that you need if you are doing something like that. We are looking at thumb studs, and we have a rear flipper here as well. Thumb flick is money. I like these studs here. If you're going to do, a normal size stud, give it a good jimping and texture, and that's what they did here. That's going to be nice and grippy. Very solid detent. You can tell they have tuned these very well. Very strong. I mean, not very strong, but like right on the money. You can tell Kizer listens to the fan base. People want good action. People expect good action. But look at that. Just nice and controlled. It's not that crazy loosey-goosey. This is what I like right here as far as detent on the open, and then the closing action. That is just masterful there. Just a nice slow close all the way home. And then we have some semi-contoured titanium handles, a little bit of milling here. We have a tie back spacer, and we have a milled titanium clip. I like this thing. I'm not sure. We didn't get a ton of information with these couple of Kizer knives, so I'm not 100% sure who the designer is behind this, but I'll pop it up on the screen once I have it. So let's get a size on this thing and see what we're looking at here. So 2 7/8. Well, hold on here. Let me get right on the tip there. So we're at 2 15/16 of cutting edge, and we're about 3 1/8, depending on where you want to mark it, to 3.5 on the total blade. And we are looking at 7 5/8 overall. Some people say to mark it here. Some people say to mark it here. Depends on where you want to mark it. We'll put up a couple of comparison knives here with the Benchmade bug out. And we have the Kizer drop bear here on the bottom. And this is going to be a little bit bigger than both of these. It actually, I bet that's going to be closer to the raccoon size. So yeah, we get the raccoon from Vlastede here, and those are going to be almost identical. You have a little tiny bit more here in the handle because of the way this one kind of flares out. This one does it too, but it's more at the bottom end. So this one kind of sticks out just a touch more, but it's going to be right in line with the raccoon and just a touch smaller than the Militol. So let's see what the Crest looks like here in the pocket. And if you're not familiar with Kizer a whole lot, they just put out another new line under Kizer, and it's their X series, and that's going to be their more premium line than what they already do. So pretty exciting stuff, and they're still pumping out knives like this that are really affordable at 150 bucks. I mean, that's, you know, really fair, and they do a good job with their S35. You can find tremendous value with Kizer. Just taking a look on their website. I'll have that link down below. I'll have this link down below if I didn't say that. We are going to be looking at a milled tie clip, and it is going to be right hand only, and it is a single Torx, but it is recessed into the titanium there, so that'll give it some nice structure, and that's going to look pretty clean in the pocket. If you like a lanyard, that'll also be poking out there a little bit and give you that nice hang if that is something you enjoy doing. And very good retention on the way out. Maybe, well, that's not too bad. That's not too bad. It's grippy. It's pretty good, and there's quite a bit of space in there. But if they're overly thick pants pockets or waistbands, sweatpants, track pants, that could be a little extra tight. But I would say in most pants pockets, that will be just fine. We'll go ahead and get a weight check on this feller. So we have our digits here, and we'll get an idea of the weight on this thing. It's not heavy at all, guys. The only milling is these couple cutouts, but it don't feel real heavy. 3, 6, somewhere in there. 3, 7. Okay, 3, 5. Okay. 3, 6, I said. And 100 grams. This thing has become my arch nemesis at this point, the old digits here. So we'll get an idea here on our handle's thickness with our calipers. If you're not familiar with calipers, these just check the dimensions. We're looking at 0.43, so very thin for a knife like this and this size. And then our blade stock thickness is 115 thousandths. And we'll check our behind the edge thickness. And that's coming down there around 17, 18 thousandths. So not too shabby there on the behind the edge thickness. But let's see how this thing cuts out of the box. We have our standard telephone book paper here, and let's choke up behind the edge. Oh, yeah. Wants to just bite. We'll come back here. See what kind of control that edge has. Let's see here. Yeah, that feels really good. Yeah. Yeah, that feels really good. Woo-hoo-hoo. Kizer has always done a good job with their S35, and with this being a new release coming out at $149.95, that's got to be one of the best prices on one of their titanium and S35 models maybe ever or a very long time, because I think most of them come in a little bit above that, 160, 170, 180 even, depending. So very good price point for this knife here, and a good size too. This thing would have absolutely slayed as like an 8.5 or maybe a little bit bigger, but just a little bit bigger. This thing is comfortable though, even in this standard grip. You are going to be a little distance from the edge in this grip, but I would say this grip here, I mean, I would seriously, if I'm, depending on what I'm doing, but for just quick cuts, slicing open a box or breaking down a box, this grip is going to be just fine. If you're getting into anything else, you can choke up, cheat up there a little bit if you need to. So, some people won't like that, but it don't bother me one bit. Kind of just work around it. But The internals are good, perfectly centered up out of the box. There's no detent lash with this thing. Let's go ahead and we'll check this lock. We're looking at about 30 to 35% on the lockup. We do have a coated blade and a coated lock. Trying to see if they sanded off that lock face. It looks like they did. Man, that feels good. Let's give this thing a couple of love taps here and make sure it's going to stay locked up under a little bit of adversity. We're not trying to beat the hell out of the thing. We're just trying to make sure it is going to stay locked up. Getting a little bit of a push from the spine. And then we'll run this thing through another series of checks here. Make sure everything is working properly. Nice click on the way in. Closing action. Everything feels good. No detent lash developed. No pivot lash. No movement there. Everything feels really good. Great access to the lock bar with a nice big chamfer. I don't know if I mentioned that, but that is really good there. The flipper has a good deal of jimping on it. It don't stick out too far, so a lot of people will be pleased with that. I'd say it's a pretty minimal flipper tab that works pretty good. Yeah, I'd say that works really good, actually. You know, you kind of just ride the spine of the knife down. There's nothing sharp getting you. You're not landing anywhere awkward. So that is really nice. And then, like I said, the thumb stud action on this thing is really good. You can come up underneath of this with your nail if you want. You can hit it with the tip of your finger. And then same with this. I don't really use my nail to thumb flick, but once in a while I'll use my middle finger to nail flick once in a while. Get quite a bit of leverage on it with the nail. But yeah, this thing is going to be an action machine here, a fidget machine. Really nice closing action. Beautiful. Pivot collar around the pivot there. And I'm willing to bet T8 all the way around. Let's see. Yes. And yes. So we have T8, pivot, and body screws, as well as our clip screw there. And not that this matters, but that is also T8 as well. So great job from Kizer. Really paying attention to detail. That is what I said at the beginning. You can tell that, you know, I've been buying and carrying Kizers for years and years now, and their progression has been really great and really tremendous. They have come a long way very quickly, and that is, I would say, a majority of that success comes from their involvement directly in the community, the knife community, the EDC community in general. They are heavily involved. Anyone who wants to be successful, that's one of the ways to do it right there, is to be heavily involved and listen to what your consumers want and what they're saying they want, and actually putting that back into up and coming models. And Kizer just routinely gets better and better, and it shows in their knives. You guys will have to let me know, what do you think of the Crest here? I really like this one, especially at the price point. We just had a S35 micarta or aluminum come out at like 130, 140 from another company. So this is completely respectable of Kizer at this price point with a new model. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up button. Always appreciate that, everyone. If you're new to the channel here and you enjoy knife and EDC content, well, you're in the right place. Make sure you subscribe, because I release daily videos just like this. I'll put up a couple of new videos on your screen. Go check one of them out for me. Have yourself an awesome day. Thank you all again for watching. I will catch you on the next one.